Hello and welcome to the NDTV Dialogues, a conversation of ideas. This episode, that conversation with Aamir Khan. Aamir Khan, thank you very much for joining me on the NDTV Dialogues.
Thank you.
You've just had a milestone birthday.
Yeah.
At 50, many people look back, and if you had to look back at the young man who entered the film industry with Qayamat se Qayamat tak, what advice would you give that young man?
Oh, what advice will I give him? Well, I don't know. I'm not much of a person for giving advice. I think it's fun to discover and learn on your own. I think I would just tell that young person that, do what you believe in and don't compromise with what your dreams are. If you need to compromise to achieve your dream, that's okay. But don't compromise with the dream itself. And believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, and do what your heart says. That's all I would tell him.
Did you think in that journey, a journey with ups and downs, but many successes on the way, that you would be at a stage now where you perhaps look at more than just acting? Because in a sense, you have evolved as much more of an activist, some would say. You speak passionately on issues you feel about, which are beyond movies. Is that a role you're more comfortable in today?
Actually, I don't see myself as an activist, I understand that people, with me doing Satyamev Jayate, for example, they feel that I'm being an activist. But I'm not. Actually, I'm not. Because I think an activist, as I see it, is a person who's very, takes up one issue and remains with that one issue for his entire life. I'm not doing that. What I am doing is I understand that as a creative person, I need not stop at just entertaining people. I can take that one step further, which is to try and affect people's minds and how they think and how they look at things. I understand that I'm able to connect with people. I have an emotional bonding with people. My strength lies in my ability to tell stories and to touch people's hearts and to move them. So I'm trying to use that skill. My attempt is to use that skill in trying to look at problems that face us as a society and see if we can address those.
Is it difficult but then to move on, like a topic like female feticide, or whether you're talking about corruption in politics? Is it difficult to move on then from week to week? How do these issues...
Move on from?
Do these issues stay with you? Like for an
issue?
They
do. Yeah, of course they do.
So then how does that influence your role in choices of movies? How does it change you?
Well, I guess it's changed me in many more ways than I understand myself. To begin with, I've become much more understanding, much more sensitive, a lot more patient and absorbing.
But in your choices of movies as well, do you find that it's changed you at all in that?
Not really. For me, my choices of movies have always been personal expressions of what I'm feeling then and there at that time when I'm reading a script or I'm listening to a script. It's my personal reaction to that. And never have I ever selected scripts based on what message the film is giving. That's not how I select my scripts. I'm not like, okay, now which message should I give? Or here is a film with a message, let me do it. For me, the driving emotion of selecting a film is that I just love that story. It may give a message, it may not give a message, that's fine. I just loved it. For example, when I do a film like Delhi Belly, I find it really funny. It's a really funny film. It doesn't have any message as such. It's just a really funny film. It's very irreverent. It's got great humor and great characters and great lines, great one-liners. I just love it for what it is. So I want to produce it. So it doesn't. The films don't have to have a message. If they do have one, great.
It's interesting you brought that up, because many of course use the Delhi Belly parallel with AIB Roast, and everybody said, oh, how could you criticize AIB Roast when you made a film like Delhi Belly?
I don't know how far that is a true statement. I can criticize anything. I mean, just because I make Delhi Belly doesn't mean... So it's got nothing to do with it. You can disagree with my criticism, that's fine, that's totally fine. But I can have an opinion on things just because I've made, a comedy like Andaz Apna Apna doesn't mean I can't criticize comedies thereafter. Once you've made a comedy, you can never criticize comedies. That logic doesn't make sense to me. So I do films that excite me. Sometimes I see stuff which doesn't excite me. Sometimes in the case of AIB Roast, in fact, it was actually an emotional response, in that case. Because, I've spoken about it before, so I don't want to go into details, but there were people who had signed up for the roast. And then there were people who had not signed up for the roast. and the people who had not signed up for the roast were, spoken with, things were said about them which were very, very, which affected me badly, and they were about people who I know very closely. So I got upset by that, and I felt that it's unfair that a person who's not signed up for the roast, you're insulting publicly in front of so many people. That person is not there to protect himself or herself. And that's not on. You want to, do that to people who've signed up, that's fine. That's what I was really upset about.
Do you find yourself a misfit sometimes now? Because I mean, you said that every film of mine doesn't have to have a message, but there is a certain expectation that Aamir Khan hai, koi to message hoga, or he's taken a film which will be maybe not a cause, but it's a film which will be slightly more serious than maybe a typical what's seen as a blockbuster, or maybe a Salman Khan or a Shah Rukh Khan kind of movie, or anyone else also.
I don't think so. I don't think the people really know what to expect from me. Quite
That's
honestly,
true.
yeah.
That's true.
Because I don't know what to expect from myself. I mean, immediately after Tare Zameen Par, the film I did after that was Gajini. I mean, the two films can't be more poles apart. I did Dhoom 3, which is, totally an out-and-out entertainer, and bike chases and stuff like that. And then I did PK, which is again a totally different. So I don't think people know what to expect from me, quite honestly. And that's also because I haven't really followed any pattern. I really haven't followed a pattern. I've just gone from one script that excites me to another. And certainly what I get attracted to would be because of who I am. Mm-hmm. So I would get attracted to Tare Zameen Par, which other people perhaps may not. So the kind of person I am, things that affect me, would also end up becoming somewhere a part of my decision making, because that's what excites me, that's what attracts me.
I mentioned Shah Rukh and Salman Khan. Of course, interestingly, the Khans are the dominant trio in the film industry. All three of you turned 50 in a sense this year. So it's an interesting transition period with a new generation of actors coming, but all three of you very much still around. How do you see the three of you perhaps in your roles in the industry now? Because you're very much still leading men.
Yeah, it's quite amazing actually. Yeah. Sometimes I think back and I wonder how we've lasted so long. I mean, Shah Rukh and Salman I can still understand, because they really, for me they're the stars. Like the way they look, the way they dress, the way they are, the way they walk into a room. They're very charming.
You were the crowd's Bobby when you walked in this room as well.
But what I'm trying to say is that I have, I've done things very differently from the two of them. Our choices are quite different. What attracts, I think, Salman and Shah Rukh is quite different from what attracts me. So in that sense, we're quite different. But I think we're fortunate to have had the kind of success that we've had. It's not usual. It's not usual for actors to have such a long innings, and the three of us have been around for 25 years now, I think. It's rather unusual. I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful for the fact that, I could be around for so long and do the kind of work that I believe in.
We know what's different, but when the three of you, what would you say is the one thing that you perhaps find common amongst the three of you, besides the surname?
Actually, apart from the surname and the same year, we were born in 65. Other than that, there's very little common between the three of us. And the fact that we're all three popular, fairly popular in our own ways. I think other than these three things, there's probably very little in common, but that's also the charm, I think that's the charm. I think Salman brings his own energy to himself, to the work he does, and so does Shah Rukh. And I find that, when I meet them, I'm quite mesmerized by them. They are very, very charming people. Yeah.
I said I have to get them now and also ask them what they say about Aamir Khan and his intensity and passion as well. But I mean, I mentioned, of course, the same surname, and it's weird that at a time like this, when the three of you are really adored across India, and that I think that you have people come up and say, "Oh, why are the Khans ruling Bollywood?" Or you have some fringe person somewhere, and it will become publicity because they're talking about you. They're saying they tear up their posters, or they propagate love jihad, etc. You've seen that they suddenly talk about this. Does it impact you at all, or do you wonder where this is coming from?
It doesn't impact me. It doesn't impact me. I don't think it impacts Salman or Shah Rukh either, because the fact of the matter is that we are popular because people love us, and the work that we try and do the best work that we can. And I don't think that the people who love us because of our religion or because of any such thing. They like us because they connect with something that they see on screen which is intangible. You know, why does a person become a star? I don't know. I don't know why people like me. I have no idea. Why did I become a star and not the next person? You know, who knows? So I think creativity, you know, goes above all of that. When you see a film that you like, it can be from a different language. It could be a Japanese film, it could be a Chinese film. The community the person comes from, the culture the person comes from, the language the person can be totally different, and you can still fall in love with that person. You know, it happens to all of us as audiences of cinema. So these ekka dukka people, you know, who come up and say this is, you know, in life all kinds of people say all kinds of things. I don't know whether we should be. I don't feel that the necessity to respond to that. I really don't feel that there is any necessity to respond to that. If people don't want to see us, they won't see our films. That, you know, nobody needs to make a proclamation for that.
But you don't find that there has been any kind of, when an issue like love jihad comes up, you don't think that that's something you need to comment on, just perhaps to speak out and make your point clear that this is
that's totally different.
Yes.
Speaking about an issue is totally different.
But when it comes up in reference to you or to Shah Rukh, when it comes up in reference to either of you?
Well, I think that I have never held back from speaking on issues. I've never held back from speaking on issues.
The opposite, and it's
yeah, sometimes I've gotten in trouble most of the time. But I think that's what a democracy is all about. You know, you should be free to air what you feel, and sometimes you may be wrong also. Sometimes I may change my mind. You know, 6 months later I might feel कि यार वो जो मैंने कहा ठीक नहीं था. We change, we grow as people. Only the people who are so fixed in their thinking that they never change is the people who don't grow actually. Okay. So I'm even open to changing my own mind. You know, as we go along in life, and I feel everyone has a right to their opinion, and I don't think that a person's opinion will actually change the way I feel. So if one person says that the three Khans are XYZ and we should not watch their films, that's that one person's opinion. I respect that person's opinion, but I don't think the rest of the country is going to change because of that. You know, people are intelligent, they have their own feelings about things, and I don't think they're so easily swayed. And if they are, then, you know, that's the truth of the matter.
No, I think in fact it's a positive sign of how much the three of you are celebrated, and religion has been so irrelevant in
fact, I would say that, you know,
in
a country like India, where I think 80% of the population is of one community, and the three actors who are very popular in that time, of course many other actors are also popular, happen to be from another community. That speaks a lot for our country, for our culture, for how we are as people. That speaks a lot, I think. And I don't think that, at least to me as a person growing up in India, that has not been part of my in the society that I come from, or in the surroundings that I come from. It's not been something that I've been even aware of. I went to a school which had, you know, kids of all communities and languages. I think
that's
I lived in a place where, and my parents brought me up in a way. We constantly, I mean, we celebrated all the various festivals of different communities and religions in our own home.